As we reconnect with family and friends this Memorial Day, first let me, on behalf of my wife and I, wish you and yours healthiness. Memorial Day is a special time to honor the lives of all those who have died in service. It's imperative that we continue to remember and honor those that have fallen. A nation that forgets its defenders, past or present, will itself be forgotten. Memorial Day has always been a paradox to me. Nothing could be more sobering, somber, or sorrowful, yet more uplifting, inspiring, and more humble to honor the service and sacrifice of our fallen. We all have firsthand stories of brothers and sisters, things they have done in service of our great nation. Courageous and who we all want to be when we're tested.
As important as it is to celebrate their families who have raised and nurtured these great men and women, and who have an enduring emptiness on their hearts and their lives, we owe those families and their loved ones a debt of gratitude beyond our ability to express and far beyond our ability to repay.
So on Memorial Day, be sad, but also be grateful. Remember, but act on that remembrance and reach out to a Gold Star family. Share a story of how they inspired you, made you laugh, or were a great teammate. Show them their loved ones are not forgotten, and their actions and examples continue to inspire us here in Naval Special Warfare and our great nation today.
In times of prosperity and in times of uncertainty, our great nation calls upon its sons and daughters to serve our country and its people. To protect our way of life, to defend our fellow countrymen, to uphold the inherent rights and freedoms afforded to all people. Those who answer this call to service commit themselves to our service's highest ideals of honor, courage, and commitment. Those few take up arms in the name of the many to protect freedom and liberty.
Over time, many have paid the ultimate price for our nation. Their sacrifice in defense of this country must always be remembered. We honor all those that have gone above and beyond, who have paid the ultimate price. Today, we honor not what was lost, we honor what they selflessly gave. We will never forget. Today and every day, we thank them for their service and strive to ensure we continue their legacy at Naval Special Warfare Group 1.
Good afternoon and hello to our team, families, and brothers and sisters in arms. I'm Commander Eric Skalski, Commanding Officer for Naval Small Craft Instruction and Technical Training School, and I'm joined today by Command Master Chief Ben Hartwell. While on this Memorial Day, we may not be able to commemorate the holiday as we have in the past with public observances, ceremonies, or parades, we cannot forget the sacrifices made in support of this country throughout its history. Originally called Decoration Day, the holiday gradually became known as Memorial Day and has evolved to commemorate American military personnel who have perished in all wars. While Memorial Day is different from Veterans Day, a holiday that is observed to honor all military veterans, I know that many of our friends and neighbors will undoubtedly thank us for all of our service to this great nation. Be thankful that our communities recognize that selfless service, but please do not forget the purpose behind Memorial Day, to honor the fallen.
I have no illusions about what little I can add now to the silent testimony of those who gave their lives willingly for their country. Words are even more feeble on this Memorial Day, for the sight before us is that of a strong and good nation that stands in silence and remembers those who were loved and who in return loved their countrymen enough to die for them. Yet we must try to honor them, not for their sakes alone, but for our own. And if words cannot repay the debt we owe these men, surely with our actions, we must strive to keep faith with them and with a vision that led them to battle and a final sacrifice. Our first obligation to them and ourselves is plain enough. The United States and the freedom for which it stands, the freedom for which they died, must endure and prosper. Their lives remind us that freedom is not bought cheaply. It has a cost. It imposes a burden. And just as they, whom we commemorate, were willing to sacrifice, so too must we, in a less final, less heroic way, be willing to give of ourselves. Each died for a cause he considered more important than his own life. Well, they didn't volunteer to die. They volunteered to defend values for which men have always been willing to die if need be. The values which make up what we call civilization. And how they must have wished, in all the ugliness that war brings, that no other generation of young men to follow would have to undergo that same experience. As we honor their memory today, let us pledge that their lives, their sacrifices, their valor shall be justified and remembered for as long as God gives life to this nation. And let us also pledge to do our utmost to carry out what must have been their wish, that no other generation of young men will ever have to share their experiences and repeat their sacrifice. Earlier today, with the music that we have heard and that of our national anthem, I can't claim to know the words of all the national anthems in the world, but I don't know of any other that ends with a question and a challenge as ours does. Does that flag still wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We realize that this year's Memorial Day observances are hampered by the COVID-19 crisis, but we hope that you will become creative in how you honor those who have lost their lives in service to our country. Perhaps you could spend your day by hosting a small barbecue just for your family, spending quality time with your spouse and children, as so much of our time is usually dedicated to service. Don't forget to fly your flag proudly in honor of the more than 1 million U.S. service members who have lost their lives in conflicts over the years. Another way to observe this Memorial Day is to donate to one of the many worthy causes through the combined federal campaign that supports the families of our fallen. While VA cemeteries are not hosting public wreath-laying ceremonies this year, these facilities will be open to the public. Perhaps you could replace any tattered or torn flags on individual graves. A multitude of local parks will be open with the observance of proper physical distancing. Spending the day outside, enjoying this beautiful area with your family is another way to honor our fallen brothers and sisters. While this year's Memorial Day may look different from the past, we encourage you to not allow the day to pass without remembering our heroes.